Smoke covered the floor like a ghostly fog. The lights flickered above, throwing long shadows on broken walls. Inside the great throne room of the Earth's secret base, the bodies of guards, scientists, and soldiers lay cold and silent. In the middle of the room stood a young alien cadet. Her armor was torn. Her arms were bleeding green. Her name was Shira. She held a heavy object in her right hand, the king's head. She didn't look proud. She didn't look angry. She looked empty, like something inside her had broken. And maybe it had. Just then, loud footsteps echoed from the hallway behind her. More soldiers were coming. She didn't care. She simply stared at the king's head. He had trusted her. The entire galaxy had. And she had killed him. But to understand why we need to go back. 8 hours earlier, arrival at Earth Base 7, Shira was nervous. Her first assignment had finally arrived. After training in orbit for 3 years, she had been selected to represent her people, the Solari, a peaceful alien race known for diplomacy and logic. The Galactic Alliance had sent her to Earth Base 7 for a special military exercise. Humans had offered to train young alien cadets to prepare them for joint missions. It was supposed to be safe, controlled. She arrived alone on a transport ship. The docking area was quiet. Too quiet. Where's the welcoming team? She asked the ship Ajay. No personnel detected on outer decks. The I answered. Strange. She stepped out, her boots echoing on the metal floor. The hallway lights blinked. A cold wind moved through the corridor. Something was off. The locked base. As she moved deeper into the base, she found signs of panic. A broken helmet, blood smeared across the walls, a flickering control panel stuck. On a red warning screen, Containment Failure Sector 4, she tried to access a terminal. Access denied. Identity not recognized. What? She scanned her badge again. Still denied. Shira's heart began to race. This wasn't a normal training exercise. She turned back, ready to leave, only to hear a loud metal slam behind her. The door had sealed shut. No way out. She whispered. The strained survivor hours passed. Shira moved carefully through the empty halls. Then she heard something. Tapping. Breathing. She followed the sound and found a human trapped behind a security door. He was young, dirty, and clearly tired. Help me, he said. Please. She hesitated. Who are you? Cadet Leo, Earth Defense Corps. What happened here? He swallowed. They locked us in. They were experimenting on aliens. I tried to stop them. Now they want us all dead. She scanned him. He wasn't lying. At least not fully. She opened the door, deeper into the codes. Mazexera and Leo moved together now. He knew the base layout, and she knew how to fight. The deeper they went, the worse things looked. In one hallway, they saw an alien body half transformed. Bones melted, eyes changed. A failed test subject. They were trying to blend DNA, Leo whispered. Trying to create something new. Something stronger than any single species. Why? She asked. To control the Alliance. To make Earth superior. Shira felt sick. Her people had trusted the humans, shared knowledge, shared peace, and this was their return gift? The silent truth room. They reached a chamber marked Research Core 12. Inside were hundreds of glowing screens, pods filled with green liquid, and massive computers running silent. One pod caught Shira's eye. Inside it floated a figure, tall, regal, with a golden crown. Her heart stopped. It was the Galactic King, alive, in stasis. But how? She asked. Leo walked closer. That's the original. The real one. What do you mean? Leo looked down. The king on the throne right now is a clone, controlled by Earth's secret group. Project Kingbreaker. You weren't supposed to find this room. Shira stared at him. What do you mean wasn't supposed to? Suddenly, the lights changed to red. Alarms blared. Leo smiled. Because this was a test. Trapped again, metal shutters dropped across every exit. Gas hissed from the vents. Xira grabbed Leo by the collar. Who are you really? He smiled again. I'm the final test, Shira. You're the weapon they created to kill him, and now you will. He pulled a small device and pressed a button. Her suit locked. Pain shot through her nerves. Images filled her head, memories that weren't hers. Memories of training, of missions, of orders to kill the king. No. She whispered, it's already inside you. They made you for this. The memory flood. Shira collapsed. Her mind was a storm. She saw labs, scientists, needles, her own body in a tank. She had never been chosen. She had been made, not a cadet, not a volunteer, just a weapon. Flashes came fast now, voices speaking over her head. Unit X9, designed for obedience. Her DNA is Solari, but enhanced. Royal signature included. When the time comes, she will activate, kill the king, replace him. No, she screamed. She wasn't just a tool. She had to choose. Escape through fire-fueled tanks. Burst somewhere above. Fire rained down. The pods started to crack. One by one, systems failed. Shira broke free of the pain. She reached for Leo, but he was gone. Disappeared. The real king's pod was melting. He opened his eyes, looked at her, whispered, finish it. And just like that, he died. Or maybe. He gave her permission, back to the throne room, present moment, and now here she stood. In the place where it all began, the clone king had greeted her with warmth when she arrived on Earth. He shook her hand, called her daughter of peace, but when the code inside her activated, she saw him for what he was, a puppet, and puppets need to be cut free. So she had fought her way here. One corridor at a time, killed soldiers, crashed drones, survived gas, broke the throne room doors. And when the clone stood up to greet her, he smiled. Shira, he said, welcome to your purpose. She didn't answer. She drew her blade and took his head. Ending scene. Shadows approaching. Now the guards were coming. More doors opening. They would see what she did. They would call it murder or betrayal. But Shira knew the truth. She wasn't Earth's weapon. She wasn't the Alliance's pawn. She was free. And in her hand, she held the proof the galaxy needed. The king's head. Smoke still burned her throat. Shira dragged her injured leg as she moved through the inner corridors of Earth Base 7. The king's head was sealed in a secure cryo case now. Locked to her back, she didn't look at it, couldn't. Alarms screamed. Red lights flashed overhead. Intruder alert. Sector 5 breach. High priority target. X9. They were hunting her. The base, once quiet and empty, was now alive with death. Soldiers moved like machines. Drones hovered with kill beams glowing. Shira was marked as a threat. No more pretending. Earth was done with lies. The first kill. Room. She reached a room marked Bioengineering, Sector 7A. The door was half melted. Inside, the walls pulsed with strange light. Tubes hung like vines. Inside them floated failed experiments, twisted shapes. Some with too many eyes, some with none. Then she heard a screech. From the ceiling dropped a creature with 6 legs, its skin stretched tight, its voice part human, part beast. It lunged at her. Shira rolled, pulled her plasma knife, and cut it across the belly. Acid sprayed. Her armor sizzled. She screamed but kept moving. She stabbed it again, this time through the head. It dropped. Silent. This wasn't just a lab. It was a graveyard. Leo. Again? Footsteps behind her. She turned quickly, knife ready. Leo. Alive, breathing hard. His clothes burnt, but his eyes full of fire. You left me, he said, holding a burn wound on his side. You lied to me, she replied coldly. I didn't lie. I didn't know I was part of it. Not fully. I was a volunteer for an internship. They said it was a training program, but I saw too much. I tried to run. She stared at him. You could have warned me. I'm warning you now, Leo said. There's no way out. Not unless we go through the blood labyrinth. Shira raised an eyebrow. The what? The blood labyrinth. Leo pointed to a red-marked doorway. Old experiment zone. Hundreds of years old. Earth used it to test fear, pain, survival. AI controls the environment. No cameras, no trackers. That's why we're safe there. Safe? Shira asked. He nodded. Relatively. They stepped through. The door closed behind them. Darkness swallowed the light. Maze of madness. As soon as they stepped inside, the walls changed. No longer steel and wires. Now it looked like a cave, wet, breathing. Leo touched a wall. Biometal. Changes shape based on thoughts. Shira frowned. Whose thoughts? He didn't answer. Suddenly the floor dropped beneath them. Shira fell, landing hard on her back. Leo screamed from another tunnel. They were separated, and the maze began. Test 1. Regretta. Screen appeared in front of Shira. A voice echoed. Regret. We will measure it now. The screen showed her first memory. Her parents smiling, proud of her. Then it showed her strangling the king. Her hands shook. She wanted to look away, but couldn't. The voice said, regret detected. Adjusting pain level. Pain surged through her back. Her nerves screamed. She dropped to her knees, breathing fast. Regret weakens you. Kill it. Shira gritted her teeth. No. She stood again. I don't regret stopping monsters. The pain stopped. The screen vanished. And the wall in front of her opened. Leo's path elsewhere. Leo walked a different path. The walls whispered secrets, his own thoughts, his guilt, his fear of death. One whisper repeated, you were never real. He clutched his head. Stop it. Another screen showed his childhood, but then it faded, replaced by video clips of him being made, his body in a lab, his skin being grown. No, I'm not one of them, he said, but he was. Reunion under fire. The walls opened again. Shira and Leo met in a large chamber shaped like a circle. In the center was a massive red gate marked Project Kingbreaker Core Access ONLY. Behind them, the walls began to scream. Drones entered the maze. Earth's soldiers had broken through. No time to talk. They ran. Data core room inside the red gate was a tall server tower spinning with energy. Thousands of data drives stacked inside glowing blue walls. Leo grabbed one. This is it. Evidence of what they did. If we can get this to the fleet. The room shook. A massive mech unit stomped into the chamber, human-made, 10 feet tall. Cannons on each arm. Target acquired. It said. Leo handed Shira the drive. Go. I'm not leaving you. He smiled. You won't have a choice. He ran at the mech, threw a grenade. It exploded and the floor collapsed. Alone again. Syra screamed as she fell again, this time into water. She swam hard, dragged herself to a dry floor, and looked up. She was alone. No sign of Leo. Was he real, or another part of the test? She didn't know. She looked at the data drive, still intact. She moved forward. Final hallway. Truth echoes. Xira reached the last part of the maze. A long, empty hallway. At the end was a door marked Royal Clone Core. As she walked, voices echoed. You were made to kill. You were never free. He trusted you. Each step felt heavier. At the end of the hall, she stopped. There, in a cryopod, was another King. Identical. Eyes glowing, still breathing. He opened his eyes slowly and smiled. Ending. Twist. The Clone King awakens. The Clone King stood without help. He wore royal armor, golden robes. And he looked directly at Shira. Hello, daughter, he said. I'm not your daughter. Then what are you? He asked gently. Weapon, monster? Rebel? I'm me, she said. Wrong answer. He raised his hand and the cryopod behind her slammed shut. Locked. She was inside the final room. With him. and he was ready to kill. The room was cold, silent, heavy. With tension, Shira stood face to face with the Clone King. He looked just like the real one, the one she had killed. Same eyes, same voice, same royal posture, but something was wrong. Too perfect, too calm. The cryopod door slammed shut behind her. Locked. The walls hissed. Air shifted. Hidden weapons unfolded from the corners. She wasn't just in a room. She was in a kill box. Do you know why you exist? The Clone King took a step forward. You were made here, he said softly. Grown in this base. Engineered from Solari DNA, mixed with battle instincts, and given just enough free will to make you think you're alive. I am alive, she said firmly. You're a trigger. A tool. When the time came, you would activate and destroy the real king. Then, I would take the throne. And Earth would rule the Alliance. Shira shook her head. But I broke the code. I killed you. The Clone King smiled. You killed one version, but we never make just one. Behind him, 4 more pods lit up. Inside each one was another. Cloned out of him. The core revelation. As Shira backed away, the walls revealed screens. Thousands of files flashed by. She saw herself in lab tubes, her DNA map. Audio logs. X9 responds faster than X8. Emotional drift detected. We'll tighten programming. Send her to the Galactic Academy. Let her blend in. She'll activate on schedule. Another screen played her first meeting with the real king, but from a hidden camera. They had been watching everything, and recording. Even the moment she killed him. The fight begins. You were never off script, the Clone King whispered. Even this moment was designed, Shira growled. Then I'll break your design. She pulled her plasma knife. The king didn't move, but the pods did. One clone stepped out, fully armed. It charged. Shira dodged, slashed and kicked, but the clone was strong, fast, trained like her. She stabbed it through the throat, but another one stepped out. Then another. They were replacing each other, faster than she could kill. The countdown. Suddenly, a robotic voice echoed. Project Kingbreaker. Final upload in 5 minutes. Shira looked at the center console. The real plan wasn't just about replacing the king. They were uploading the clones' consciousness to the galactic network. Once it was done, every throne across the Alliance would receive orders from the fake king. Earth would rule the galaxy. By remote mind control. No, she whispered. She ran toward the console. Leo returns? Just as she reached it, a side door exploded. Smoke poured in. From the smoke stepped a figure, burned, limping, holding a hacked access stick. Leo, you didn't leave me, he said with a grin. I thought you were dead. I probably should be. Together, they turned to the console. I can stop the upload, Leo said. But I need 90 seconds. You've got 30, Shira said, drawing her blade again. The clones were closing in. Last stand as Leo tapped furiously at the keys. Shira fought. 1 clone, 2, 3. Each one fell, but each one hit back. She was bleeding, bruised. Her armor cracked. Her left arm limp, but she wouldn't stop. She COULDN single quotes. Then, suddenly the countdown voice changed. Upload failed. System locked. Leo raised the hacked stick high. Done. But the Clone King laughed. You stopped the upload, he said, stepping forward. But you didn't stop me. He lunged at Leo. Too fast, too strong. Leo fell. With Inxera screamed and threw herself at the Clone King. He caught her wrist. You were made to obey me, he hissed. She stared at him. I was made to end you. She activated the energy core in her chest, something she had never used before. A burst of light exploded from her body. Pure Solari energy. It ripped through the Clone King's armor. He staggered. And for the first time, he looked afraid. She stabbed him in the chest. This time, he stayed dead. Ending twist. The signal. Leo coughed. You did it, he said. Xir pulled him up. Let's get out of here. They moved to the escape pod room. As they entered, another screen flickered on one last message. Transmission sent, not to the Alliance, but to Earth HQ. Project Kingbreaker, Phase 2 begin. Shira froze. Leo looked at her. What does it mean? She looked up at the stars above them. It means this wasn't the only base. She activated the launch pad. They were going home. But Earth was no longer home. It was the enemy. The escape pod shook as it entered Earth's orbit. Shira sat quietly, her hands stained with blood. Leo lay across from her, still weak, his wounds patched but not healed. Neither of them spoke. Below them, Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, green lands, lights glowing across the cities. But they knew the truth now. This wasn't their home anymore. It was the enemy. The pod landed in the ruins of Base 3, hidden deep in the Arctic Circle. The cold wind howled outside, but the place had power. They found shelter inside an old cargo room. Leo connected the stolen drive to a secure console. Screens lit up. Thousands of files appeared. Classified records, secret projects, deep black operations. At the top of the list was one name: Phase 2, Human Reset. What is Phase 2? Shira leaned closer. Leo tapped the screen. The files opened to a video. A council of Earth generals sat at a long table. One stood up. Phase 1 was successful. The king is dead. Phase 2 begins. Activate the protocols. Clean the bloodlines. Only the designed will remain. Shira's jaw tightened. Clean the bloodlines? Leo scrolled further. They're going to erase all unmodified humans. Replace them with engineered ones, clones, weapons like us. Earth won't be a planet anymore, Leo said quietly. It'll be a farm. The signal suddenly, alarms blared in the base. A nearby console blinked. Incoming transmission priority Omega Xera hit. Accept. A hologram appeared. A woman in a black command coat. Sharp eyes, gray hair, cold voice. X9, we know you're watching. You killed the king. You broke your programming. And now, we need you. Shira stared in shock. Come to Site 0. Alone. You'll get answers. Or you'll die hunted. The signal ended. Leo looked at her. You can't go. I have to. Into Site 0 that night. Shira left Leo behind. She used stolen transport to reach the location. Site 0. Hidden in the ruins of old Chicago. Nothing moved. The buildings were melted. The sky above was gray. She entered the underground vault. Security didn't stop her. Doors opened for her. As if she was expected. The woman behind it at the end of a long tunnel. Shira found the woman from the hologram. She stood alone, behind glass. She smiled. You look like your mother, Shira frowned. I don't have one. You do. She was the first rebel. We cloned her memory to give you instincts, but you became more. Shira's hands tightened. Why call me here? To offer you a choice. The offer. The woman tapped a button. Holograms appeared, maps, fleet positions, political files. The Alliance is weak. Earth is strong. Join us. Lead the second wave. Be the face of peace. With Earth's hand behind your back. Shira laughed bitterly. You want me to be your puppet? The woman nodded. Or your own people die. Surprise ambush. Suddenly, Shira heard a gun click behind her. She spun. Leo, wounded, bleeding, holding a rifle. You came anyway, he said. Shira stepped back. What are you doing? I'm not fully me, he said, eyes dark. They activated a failsafe in my brain. He raised the rifle at her. I can't stop myself. The choice. The woman smiled. Kill him, join us. Or die with him. Shira didn't hesitate. She raised her blade and smashed the glass instead. Sparks flew. The woman screamed. Guards burst in. Shira dodged bullets, grabbed Leo, and ran. But he was fading. I'm sorry, He whispered. Ending twist. The final message. They escaped through the lower tunnels. Before Leo passed out, he pressed a small device into her hand. Backup copy, he whispered, of me. Then he went still. Shira looked down at him. He was dying. Or already gone. But his data, his mind was saved. And Earth had just made one more mistake. They gave her purpose. And now she had a war to start. The cold wind howled through the mountain pass. Shira sat alone beside the burning wreck of their stolen transport. Leo's body lay wrapped in a thermal sheet beside her. She hadn't buried him yet. She couldn't. Not until she figured out how to use what he gave her, his mind back up. The only piece of him that was still alive. The device she held, the small crystal chip he had pressed into her hand. It pulsed with a faint blue light. Backup copy of me, Leo had said before collapsing. Don't trust Earth with it. Now it was up to her. She connected it to her wristpad. A small hologram flickered on. Leo's face appeared. Calm. Digital. Shira, his voice said, if you're seeing this, I'm probably dead. But I can still help. She felt her chest tighten. Even in death, Leo refused to be silent. The awakening, the hologram continued. I hid coordinates inside this chip. A secret site. Not Earth's, not the Alliance's, off-grid. Full of others. Like us, clones, failed soldiers, forgotten. They call it the Broken Bastion. Go there, wake them, unite them, start the war. Shira stood slowly. A new fire burned in her eyes. She wasn't just a rebel now. She was a leader. Journey to the Broken Bastion. Shira crossed frozen wastelands, burned fields, and dark skies to reach the coordinates. What she found was shocking. An old, hidden fortress buried deep under a broken moon. Inside hundreds of stasis pods. Clones. Some young. Some old, some half-alien. All sleeping. They had names. Unit V4, muscle-enhanced Titan clone. Unit E5, a clone with stealth tech built into her skin. Unit D3, a clone who could control drones with his mind. Forgotten weapons. She tapped into the main console. Units awake? Once she pressed Y. The machines hissed. One by one. They began to open their eyes. Clone army rises. The clones stood together, blinking into the light. Shira stepped forward. I'm not your commander, she said. I'm just like you, used, broken, left behind. She showed them Leo's final message. He believed we could change things. They think we're monsters. Let's prove them right. They didn't cheer. They nodded. Silently. Dangerously. The war had begun. First strike, Earth communication relay. Their first mission was quick and brutal. An Earth orbital relay station used to control drones and spy satellites. Shira's team dropped in under cover of night. D3 disabled the defense grid. E5 moved unseen, planting charges. V4 broke doors with his fists. In 8 minutes, the station was destroyed. No survivors. And no one knew who did it. Earth called it a terrorist act. But the clones called it justice. Earth strikes back, but Earth responded fast. Every clone tracking signal was reactivated. Kill squads were launched. Even peaceful colonies were burned just for harboring modifieds. The Broken Bastion went dark. Underground. Hidden again. But Shira knew this wouldn't last. The real war was coming. Visitor from the stars. Just when Shira thought she was ready for anything, a ship landed outside the Bastion. It was not Earth-made. Metal was silver-blue. Alien letters marked its side. From it stepped a woman with 4 glowing eyes, golden skin, and armor shaped like fire. I am Commander Saraxi of the Solari High Guard. She said, we received a signal from someone named Leo. Shira stared in shock. You knew him? The alien nodded. He told us Earth had broken the code. He asked us to find you and help. Ending twist. The real enemy, Commander Saraxi looked serious. You think Earth is the enemy, she said. They are, but they are not the only one. She handed Shira a glowing tablet. It showed a map, not of Earth, not of the Alliance, but of a hidden third force. A secret shadow group, manipulating both sides. The true enemy calls themselves the Core, and they've already taken control of half the galaxy. Shira felt the weight of it all. She had just started a war, but now she was in a much bigger one. Shira sat in the war room of the Broken Bastion, surrounded by clones, silent, loyal, powerful. Across the table stood Commander Siraxi, the alien. Warrior with golden skin and glowing eyes. The screen between them showed a star map, hundreds of systems. Red marks, spreading like infection. Each one labeled Core Control Led. True War. Siraxi tapped a glowing star. This is not just about Earth, she said. The Core has been working from the shadows for centuries. Shira frowned. I've never heard of them. You weren't meant to. They erase history. They replace leaders. They control both Earth and the Alliance, using clones, tech, and lies. Leo's backup had suspected it, but now Shira saw the truth. The war she started wasn't the end, it was only the beginning. Who are the Core? Siraxi explained. The Core is not a species. It's a network, a council of ancient minds. They live in machines, now pure data. They infect governments, twist AI systems, rewrite loyalty. They don't conquer planets. They take over brains. Shira asked. Then what do they want? Peace, Siraxi said coldly. A perfect, silent galaxy. No freedom. No rebellion. Only order. Shira laughed bitterly. So they'll kill anything that thinks. Exactly. Betrayal on Earth. While Shira prepared for war, a secret message arrived from Earth. It was from General Voss, a high-ranking Earth military leader. He didn't speak in uniform. He wore a cloak, and his face was scared. They've taken control of Earth Command. I don't know who I can trust. I think the Core is here. If you want answers, come to Orbital Station Delphi. Come alone. Then the screen went dark. Mission to Delphi. Shira didn't trust him, but she went anyway. Siraxi gave her a stealth ship and 2 clone. All-Eyes E5, stealth expert, and D3. The drone mind closing parenthesis. They landed near Delphi Station, floating above the black side of Jupiter. It looked abandoned. No lights. No movement. But someone had opened the docking bay for them. The trap inside the station. The halls were cold. Metal scratched. Lights flickered. General Voss was waiting, but something was wrong. His skin pulsed faintly. His voice echoed like metal. Thank you for coming, he said. Now we complete your upgrade. E5 gasped. He's a Core host. Voss's skin peeled away, revealing metal wires, black bones, and a glowing red eye. More shapes stepped from the shadows. Earth. Soldiers hollow-eyed. Twisted. No longer human. The Escapexera and her team fought their way out. E5 vanished into shadows, slitting throats with her energy blade. D3 summoned drones from his belt, using them like flying weapons. Shira went straight for Voss. Their fight shook the station. He moved like lightning, too fast, too perfect. But Shira had one thing he didn't. Single quotes T. Kalong Leo. His voice spoke through her wristpad. Use the pulse. You still have the EMP core. Shira slammed her fist into Voss's chest and activated the EMP. Electric light exploded through the station. The core signal died. Voss froze and shattered. New revelation. Earth is falling as they escaped. D3 hacked the station's records. He found something horrifying. Earth is already compromised. The Core has planted memory seeds inside 40% of Earth's population. They're not just controlling leaders. They're turning citizens into sleeping hosts. If Earth fell, the Core would control every human in the galaxy. Shira looked at the map again. Every red star now felt personal. Ending twist. Leo's last file back at the Bastion. Shira accessed one last file from Leo's backup. It had been locked until now. The file played. Shira, if you're hearing this, it means you've met the core. I figured they were behind everything. But here's what I didn't tell you. They tried to take me too. I let them, just a little. And while they were in my mind, I left them a message. The screen showed a virus symbol. Leo had infected the core network from inside. They'll come for you now, all of them. Because you're the only threat left. Shira looked up. A red light began flashing on every screen. Core fleet detected ETA 3 HFY War was here. And this time, it was total. The sky above the broken bastion turned red, not from fire from the arrival. 1,000 core ships dropped out of warp, silent, cold, black as death. Inside the bastion, Shira stood before her army of clones. Each one armed, ready, waiting for her word. Her fingers tightened around the datapad. Leo's last gift, his code virus was inside. It was humanity's only weapon against the core. But there was a problem. It could only be uploaded from Earth. The Mission Sierra spoke to her people. If this virus is uploaded, the core's network will fall, their minds, their ships, their control. But the upload point is deep inside Earth Central Command. It's a suicide run. No one moved. Then D3 stepped forward. We're clones. We were made for suicide runs. The others nodded. No fear. Only fire. The firewall the team took. Siraxi's fastest ship. They flew straight through core-controlled space. Fought through drone fleets. Reached Earth. Everything was dark. No stars. Just shadows. Over the capital city, they saw the firewall. A floating black pyramid surrounded by swirling red energy. This was it. The main node of the core's control. It was not a building. It was alive. Inside the beast, they entered through a maintenance shaft, dodging core patrols. Twisted humans with glowing eyes, half metal, half flesh. As they went deeper, they began to hear whispers. Voices in their heads. You are not real. You were born to obey. Let us in. E5 screamed suddenly and collapsed. Blood came from her eyes. Core was trying to take control. D3 injected her with a neural block. She stood again, shaking. I'm fine. Let's move. But Shira knew they didn't have much time. Upload room. They reached the central chamber. It was filled with core minds floating. Spheres of energy and code. The upload terminal stood in the center. Leo's virus chip fit perfectly. As soon as Shira inserted it, alarms screamed. A voice echoed all around. We see you now, traitor child. And we remember your code. A giant form appeared from the ceiling. A core avatar. Not machine, not flesh. A fusion. Its face looked like Leo's. But twisted. The fight. The clone army fought like monsters. D3 sent his drones into the core's body. E5 vanished into shadows, slicing deep. Shira faced the avatar alone. Its voice was everywhere. You fight for broken things. You are a mistake, Shira growled. No, I'm free. She stabbed her blade deep into the avatar's eye. It screamed. At the same time. The virus finished uploading. The room shook. Lights exploded. The core network began to collapse. Backlash. But something was wrong. D3 fell. His eyes blank. E5 screamed again, this time. Her skin burned. The virus wasn't just killing the core. It was killing every mind connected to them. That included the clones. All of them. The choice. The system flashed one last message. Abort final signal? Why? If she aborted, the core would survive. If she continued, the core would die, but so would her people. Shira's hand hovered over the screen. D3's voice echoed faintly. We were made to die, but you were made to choose. She closed her eyes. And pressed. Why? The cost. The signal shot out like a lightning storm. Every core ship across the galaxy shut down. Every red star on Siraxi's map turned dark. Earth Command fell. The core was dead, but so were her soldiers. E5, D3, all of them. Gone. The bastion was Empty now. Except for XIRA. Ending twist. One core remains as she walked alone through the wreckage. Her wristpad beeped. Incoming transmission UNKN OW. When she opened it, Leo's voice spoke, but it was different. You uploaded the virus. But you missed something. They had a backup. One core mind. Escaped. And it's not in a machine anymore. It's inside you. Shira stared in shock. Then slowly looked down at her hands. They were glowing. Shira stood. Alone. The war was over. The galaxy was silent. The core was dead. But something was wrong. Skin glowed faint blue. Her heartbeat sounded like a machine. And Leo's final message repeated in her mind. One core survived. And it's inside you. The truth inside her. She locked herself in a deep room below the broken bastion. No one else was left. She scanned her own brain. The results came up clear, too clear. No fear. No error. No emotion. Just perfection. Just like the core. She fell to her knees. No, this can't be. But it was. Some part of the core had fused with her during the virus upload. Not a copy. A piece. A message from the enemy suddenly. Her wristpad blinked. A symbol appeared. The core's mark. A voice echoed in her mind, not like the others. Calm. Almost human. You tried to destroy us, but you let us in. You are no longer human. You are the bridge. She screamed and smashed the pad. But the voice stayed. It was now part of her. She wasn't just a soldier anymore. She was a living weapon. The galaxy responds all across space. Worlds began to rebuild. Earth's leaders fell. The alliance split. But rumors spread. A woman survived the core war. She held their secrets. She might be the last core. Some wanted to find her and worship her. Others wanted her dead. Assassins, hunters, even full fleet searched. But no one could catch her. She moved like a ghost. Silent. Always. One step ahead. Because part of her already knew the future. The final decision. Shira stood at the edge of an abandoned Starforge. Staring at a console, she had two choices. A. Use her new core-linked mind to rebuild the network. This time under her control. A peaceful version. One that could end war. But cost all freedom. B. Erase herself. End the core forever. Even if it meant her death. She thought of Leo. Of D3. Of E5. Of the clones who died trusting her. You were made to choose. Ending twist. She did both. She pressed both buttons. No one knew how. But somehow, she split herself. One part remained. Human. One part became machine. One disappeared. One spread across the stars. Final scene. 10 years later, a child on a desert planet looked up at the stars. Dad, is it true? He asked. The human girl who beat the machines? The old man smiled. They say she became something new. Not human, not core. They call her the balance. And she's still out there, watching. The stars blinked. A soft blue light passed overhead.